about Bisa. And coincidentally, my DJ Sticker has also given me the same song. So, Chief Charles, let me come back to you as we try to do this discussion here by Dan Lati, where he says, "Hey, Ghana, so you decided to relegate Bisa there just in about 5 years of active music. Do you agree with him?"
Similar thing came to mind, as a matter of fact. So when the song was playing, when Kde's song was playing, even though I haven't seen the posts by Dan Latte, a thought dropped in my mind that, so where is Bisa there? Because he should have been part of the bill, of the bill for last Saturday. For someone who gave us amazing hits back to back a few years ago, and suddenly he seemed lost, on the scene. It's amazing, but a number of factors could account for this. Perhaps his own inactiveness in recent years. It seems also in Ghana that if you don't have...
How well are we following him for us to conclude that he is not being active? Have you subscribed to any of his social media channels where whatever he drops on there, you are going to see it? Because he might not be very active doing stuff in Ghana, but we are not following him that very close where he is.
That could be a point. But it is not our duty to follow him.
It is our duty, boss.
No. Let me clarify this point.
Okay.
You see, we're an era where there is cluster of information. Every day, per minute, by the second, information shifts. Now we are in an era where we I think there's a terminology for it, attention deficit or something. Look, information changes by the millisecond, and so if you are not bringing your brand to the market and putting it in the people's face, they will forget you. In 3 days, they would forget that, look, 3 days ago, you were the biggest thing that happened to them. Because within that 3 days, somebody would have released. Information has moved so much that you have become perhaps irrelevant, or you have been relegated to the background. And for me, I think that's what perhaps is happening to him. Compare, this period to a couple of years ago when Bisa was dropping hits all over the place. He was playing in every pub, he was playing in every engagement, every funeral, everywhere you go. Bisa is heard. Obviously, it's not like that today. So perhaps you may be a fan of Bisa. Maybe there are some people who are members of Sammy Flex Nation, and so anything you put out there, they would see it in their face. But what about those who are not? What about those who are not? Then it means that you have to carry the information and bring it to them. Feed them the information. Tell them that, look, I'm still alive. Tell them that I'm doing amazing things in America. I'm doing amazing things in Europe. But all this information has to be out there, because if for us in this industry, those of us who are stakeholders, the kids and kin of the industry, we have very little information about you, it means that the ordinary person or the ordinary person on the streets would find it difficult, unless you are a die-hard fan of Bisa, then you will follow him everywhere. Like there is, an Okada guy in my area. He doesn't listen to anybody's song apart from Shatter. He said, me, I know they listen to anybody. And I'm like, look, when we were growing up, we were listening to all manner of songs. It influenced our musical appreciation. So that's what you should do. Don't just listen to one person. So for me, I think this could be a strong factor that perhaps he needs to look out at his PR. He needs to look at his managerial team and how they are putting out stuff he is doing. If indeed he is doing. See, the last time he came here to premiere his album, and that should be last year somewhere. Has he released anything? I don't think he has released anything. Maybe he's still riding on the waves of that last album and promoting individual songs on that album. But for me, I think that he's, first of all, too young. He's too fresh-blooded to be relegated at this point. I think that he needs to step up his game and be doing more so that he can be in our face. Because this industry is about those who are in your face. You flow with the tide. You go with those that are visible and ahead. But there is also a sharp contrast here that Adani Best has not released a song perhaps in the last 10 years or so, you know, but he was part of the bill and he gave an amazing performance. What could account for that? I think perhaps sometimes the idiosyncrasies in the industry could align one to these people or that people. It's one of the things I have observed, you know, that you need to be out there. Maybe your management team needs to be out there working and trying to put you on programs, regardless whether you released yesterday, 10 years ago, or today. If you have a strong management team that can put you on programs, I think you keep having gigs and be relevant. It's amazing. Just 5 years ago, Bisa was playing all the shows, and now, you know, when the stalwarts or the A-list of the industry is called or is built to perform, he's not one of them. But whether you like it or not, Bisa is one of the amazing guys in the system.
I just checked his Instagram, and his last post was when he performed during the Manshia celebration,
which was about 2 weeks ago.
Yes, he said last night at the Manshia Palace when the king Otumfo himself asked me to sing Mansa Blessings.
So that was, you know, just about 2 weeks ago. You know, so he's still around and still performing, albeit low key. But obviously, you know, this platform, I don't know if he's performing at the main VGMA, on Saturday. But obviously, this platform could be, you know, characterized as one of the biggest on our music calendar. And so if
we cannot have everyone on it. We can only have a selected few.
You can have the A-list. You can have the top of the top. Because it's the biggest of our music calendar.
Let's agree that at the moment, Bisa Keide is not part of the top of the tops.
But that's what I'm saying. That he still has some amazing songs. But see, it doesn't really matter. For me, I think it boils down to your management style and those who are pushing your brand. Like I said, Adani hasn't released a song in a long time. It's still the old songs that we know that he performed. So what could make Adani perform when Bisa is relatively contemporary? Bisa is way more contemporary than Adani Best, but Adani perform. So for me, I think that it depends on your management and those who are pushing your brand and how well they're pushing it. But again, too, another factor could be perhaps the monetary factor. For all you know, he was paid so much at the Menshia celebrations to perform, or perhaps he performed it for free, maybe because of relationships. So there are no more factors that could account for this. But one thing holds true, that Bisa's brand has taken a backseat, and his management needs to do a bit more to push it.
Okay, so to Bosu, Kule, and the rest of the people, let's see what you guys will do out of this, because that is what the people are thinking, that as much as you guys are still alive, we are not hearing much of you. And I'm reading comments under the post, and some of them very interesting though. Arnold, should we blame the industry? Because according to Dan Latte, he is asking that how come Ghana has relegated Bisa Keide in just about 5 years of active music. Indirectly, he is blaming us.
You see, because Ghana doesn't speak, you will put everything on Ghana's head. You know, if Ghana could speak, Ghana will tell you, don't blame me. You can't say Ghana has relegated him to the background. Ghana doesn't write the songs for him. Ghana doesn't do productions for him. Ghana doesn't plan his activities or his actions. Ghana doesn't lobby for shows for him. Everything is on the artist and his management. What they decide, they feed us with, and then we vibe along, or we get along with the groove. So if he hasn't come out to, put anything on the table for us to feed on, you can't blame his relaxation, or you can't blame Ghana for his resting time.
Lackluster attitude.
Either lackluster attitude or his resting time or whatever it is. I think he's taking a back seat. And again, he's not crying. If he's come, he's done 5 years, and after 5 years, he decides that let me relax and do things below and probably re-strategize and come back hard. There is no crime. The industry is not against that. People have come and gone. People have relaxed and then come back bigger. Shatawale had his time. I'm sure Sak or any other top artist could, at a point, look at what is happening to Guru. He's also relaxed. Guru has been there. He's done stuff. He's been in our faces every single day. Now he's no more like that. For all you know, it is deliberate. He decides that let me just go back and concentrate on other areas that people do not pay attention to. And so you probably have Bisa there performing in villages almost every weekend, performing at private parties, weddings, and so on and so forth, trying to make some money from that side as well. It is not always that you be in the faces of the people. In fact, as a matter of fact, when you are always in the faces of the people, it gets to a time they become fed up with you. And if they become fed up with you and they rather push you to the back burner, that's even more dangerous. If they send you there, they would only accept you if they are ready for you again. But if you bow out when the applause is high, and then you decide to re-strategize and come back, I am seeing it as a re-strategizing move from Bisa there, and not necessarily because he's run out of steam. He wasn't a bad artist when he was on top. He gave us back-to-back hits. He gave us albums. He was on almost every major platform. In fact, he's won awards. One of VGMA's at the time favorite. And so if today he's not seen doing what he used to do, I can't say that he's lost his writing skills. Perhaps he still has it, and he's not just putting enough work into it. It could also be that management, he dissolved management at a point and brought in Jay Foley.
Exactly.
Good. So it could be one, that he's resting, or he's preparing to come back hard, or they are still trying to fix management and get things right before he comes. Because it's not a small brand that you could just be throwing left and right.
Because the Bosu Kule that we all knew was doing stuff for him, now Bosu Kule is more concentrated on Sister Fia than Bisa. So it is not too clear who is doing the Bisa work now.
And his management, I don't think when Jay Foley came in, he took him to a certain level that, you know.
The Jay Foley working relationship, I'm not sure it is very tight and active even at the moment. I'm sure maybe it is not.
So there could be issues. There could be things they want to loose knots. They would like to tighten up before he comes out. You know, he dropped an album. I think the last album he did with a billboard and all that. That didn't fly. That didn't fly. I mean, as compared to his other works, that one didn't fly so much. I want to believe that Bisa then knows what he wants to do next. He's probably planning, recording bangers, and at the right time, I'm sure he will come out and start dropping stuff. But if he's coming, I pray he comes with a tighter team.
Well, this is my opinion. Chief Charles, before you come in, this is my opinion. And I'm sure I've said this before. A point when I was doing my opinion thing on Twitter, I said that these days, if you are a musician, the only thing you can do to be active is to have a solid fan base. That fan base who will always be mentioning your name even when you don't have a song out. And that is what has been keeping someone like Sarkodie. Whether he releases a hit song or not, Sack Native, Sack Rapperholics, or whatever you call them, they are there constantly, still letting us know that, oh, there is a certain Sarkodie brand elsewhere. These days, if you are only producing hits for the people to follow you, remember that when the hits are no more coming, you never get anyone following you. I think I've said this before, and I advise some people like Kwame Eugene, Kiddies, and co. that they have just two options in the industry. Either they are going to give the people hits upon hits every time to get the following, or without the hits, maintain an active or a solid fan base. If you don't have this, then you are going to be missing. Because Bisa there, like everyone here has said, it's not as if he's not good. It's not as if he's not done much. He's done everything he has to do as a musician. He has all the songs. But who is representing him? He doesn't have any representation. So as much as you are gone,
Bisa mites.
So there's poor visibility of his brand.
Because there are not some committed people who are always projecting him.
And there's no big song from him.
Exactly. That is why guys like Stoneboy, Samini, Sarkodie, and those
Samini is even enjoying until recently when he did the Untamed, where we still have some hit bangers coming from him. Samini has enjoyed the backing of his fan base, even when some things weren't happening for him.
Exactly.
Yes.
But Samini,
high graders have been there constantly.
Maybe I've said this. These days, if you want to be relevant, build a solid fan base. As to how you build it, just ask around. There is this young guy at Create Music, the poster boy guy.
Yeah.
I have seen that management is really doing enough for him. They know that this guy is a new guy. He needs some people to follow him. So they have built a cult fan base for him. Anytime he is going to play a show, they try to buzz people. Just go there and make the noise for him. Last weekend, I saw that he was doing a cleanup exercise in his hometown. Just to make sure that at least he will start building the fan base from there. If he is able to garner support from all the youth in
He's around
Aguna something.
Nyanyano boy. But let's say
If
Kaswa alone.
If he's able to get the young boys on the street in Kaswa alone, he's done.
Yeah.
At least one day he will get one from Osu, one from Accra Central, one from here, and that is how it starts. Such a person, if he doesn't even have a song, the fan base will still be solid waiting for him. These days, if you don't have a fan base, if you don't have a group that you can say, these are my fan base, or this is my center, but forget it.
Sammy,
Because the hits will not come every day.
Sammy, a question.
It will come and go, but the fan base will be there for you. We are wrapping up. On this.
Sammy, no. When Arnold was, talking, he made mention of the fact that it may be a strategy that Bisa may have taken a back seat. But question suffices that can you afford to relax in this industry? You can't afford to relax. You constantly have to be in the people's face. So I think one of the factors too is that Bisa himself is not doing enough collaborations.
In recent times.
Because one of the ways in keeping yourself relevant and constantly being in the people's face and ears is even if you are not releasing, you should be featuring. Collaborating.
One of Sarkodie's secrets.
One of Sarkodie's secrets in remaining relevant. But I think in the last 5 years, we haven't seen any featuring. And that's what the contemporary boys are doing. All these Kofi Mole, Kwesi Arthur and the rest, a lot of featuring. Even watching what we're coming to discuss right now, Afro Pop Song of the Year, Kim Promise features in about 4 or 5 of the songs that have been nominated. So there's a good chance that he could win something on the night because of just the featurings that he's done. I think it's one of the things that the management also needs to look at, or he himself needs to look at. That he should begin to do collaborations. He should begin to feature on other people's songs. He's an amazing singer. I don't know why he's taking the back seat. For me, I don't think that he can afford to draw up a strategy that says that for 3 or 4 years I'm not going to release anything. No. Because by the time you will, someone would have even taken your style, or some new person would have come that would have taken your shine. So it's got to be in the people's face. I mean, I have my own announcements, to make. Perhaps as the show wears on.
No, let's do it now.
On 24th.
Yes. Bruh, fan base is key. Management system is key. Fan base gives or brings loyalty, support, and commitment. Bruh, it is also very important to note that some artists take some things for granted. Relationship is also key. Relationship with media and audience. There are a lot of factors. Every artist is like a product, and every product has a life cycle. As for the featuring, it is seasonal. He had his time. The new kids have taken his space. Bisa needs strong management. I think this is also a solid point shared by my man Ken Ado. Let me read this one from Emerald. Emerald is from Awoshi. And he also says, good morning, Brasami. It is very sad. It is only in Ghana we have that bad habit of retiring artists at very young age. Elsewhere, it is not so. King Mensah, Kofi Olomide, just to mention a few that are still over the place, even though they started since my childhood. So he thinks that we shouldn't retire Bisa Kede this early. We don't have to do that. Hey, today is your birthday, Inshra Betty, Mrs. Inshra Betty. This is coming from your husband, who is a part of our team here at Xylophone FM. In fact, he starts our show on radio. Me sorry na maintain in kapena me say daily bibiara. Me te so kasapena, I know that everything is okay. So Kojo Boateng Cosby, let's say happy birthday to Ife Inshra Betty. And Kojo Boateng Cosby last Sunday, me te say oh yeah near bi. E wo fear. I just mano. But then with the few I listened to, I didn't listen to Kojo Boateng talking to my wife. I listened to Kojo Boateng Cosby talking to Mr. Massiv's wife, and also I heard his own wife. Mr. Mosi Vire no see the radio. Na no ate pa. Na kojo ba tire ne de. Yay!